Hello everyone, it is your SAKSHI ma'am this side, and today we will continue with our figures of speech. So this is part 2 of our figures of speech, and the first one for today is euphemism. Euphemism is a polite expression used in place of words or phrases that might otherwise be considered harsh or unpleasant. It is mainly used to express harsh truth like death in a mild way. For examples, my uncle passed away yesterday. She is not noted for her sweet temper. He has gone to rest with his forefathers. In the first example, we can see my uncle passed away. Instead of saying my uncle died, the poet has used passed away. She is not noted for her sweet temper. Instead of using bad temper, short temper, or showing her rude, the poet has used she is not noted for her sweet temper. So they are just replacing words and showing it in a polite way. Next we have irony. Irony is the use of words to convey a meaning that is opposite of what is actually said. It is used as satire, where one criticizes something. For example, the Titanic was said to be unsinkable, but sank on its first voyage. Here you can also see it is a kind of a taunt, where they mention the Titanic was said to be unsinkable, but sank on its first voyage. Second, how nice, she said when I told her I had to work all weekend. Now we can see in this line, she actually isn't happy when she says how nice. She is actually frowning, but the words are used in a way of satire or irony. Next we have pun. Pun is a really cute figure of speech. A pun is a joke based on the interplay of homophones or homographs. Homophones are words with the same pronunciation but different meanings. It is a kind of wordplay to create humor. For example, if we don't hang together, we will hang separately. So we can see there are two hang with two different meaning, and this sentence creates a humor. Second, we have the grammarian was very logical. He had lot of comma sense. So comma sense, they have just tricked the word common sense as comma sense. So pun is a figure of speech which makes a joke statement or a humor statement. Next we have apostrophe. Apostrophe is a figure of speech in which a speaker directly addresses someone or something that is not present or cannot respond in reality. It can be an abstract thing, a non-living thing, or dead thing. Apostrophe, the figure of speech, should not be confused with apostrophe, the punctuation mark. For example, O death, where is thy sting? So here, O death is directly addressed. The poet is directly talking to death. We cannot talk to something that is abstract. O grave, where is thy victory? Again, the poet is talking directly to grave. Shakespeare, the mantle has fallen on no man. Now Shakespeare, as we all know, is no more. So the poet is still addressing directly to Shakespeare. Here again, it is an example of apostrophe. Next, it is Synecdoche. Synecdoche is a figure of speech in which a word or a phrase that refers to a part of something is substituted to stand in for the whole, or vice versa. That is, a part stands for a whole or whole stands for a part. For example, His Majesty is ill. Here, His Majesty refers to king. So the whole stands for a small part, that is king, a single person king. Second, India won the match. Now it is not the entire India who won the match, it is the players that played that won the match. Third, gold and silver have I none. The poet is not talking about gold and silver here. The poet is talking about wealth. So gold and silver here stands for money or wealth. Here it shows a part stands for whole. 1,000 hands work in their factory. Now it is not just hand that is working, it is workers. So hand stands for workers, that is 1,000 workers were working in their factory. Moving forward, climax. Climax is a figure of speech in which successive words, phrases, clauses or sentences are arranged in ascending order of importance. For example, I laugh, I sing, I dance for joy. So this goes in ascending order. I laugh, I sing, I dance. Second, lost, waded, broken, dead within an hour. So we can see how it is going in an ascending order. Such as anti-climax. Anti-climax refers to a figure of speech in which statements gradually descend in order of importance. Unlike climax, anti-climax is the arrangement of a series of words, phrases or clauses in order of decreasing importance. For example, here I come, my country, my state, my city. So here we can see we are not beginning in ascending order, my city, my state, my country. We are going in the descending order. My country, my state, my city. Second example, she is a great writer, a mother and a good humorist. Next, we have transferred epithet. A transferred epithet is a little known but often used figure of speech in which a modifier, that is usually an adjective, qualifies a noun other than the person or thing it actually describes. In other words, the modifier is transferred from the noun it is meant to describe to another noun in the sentence. एक नाउन का एडजेक्टिव दूसरे नाउन को दिया जाता है. जो पहला नाउन होता है, it belongs to a person, a living thing, and the second noun is usually a non-living thing or an abstract stuff. For example, the prisoner was placed in the condemned cell. Here we have two nouns, prisoner and cell. The adjective used here is condemned. Condemned means punished. So who was punished? The prisoner was punished. But the adjective of prisoner is taken away from him and transferred to cell. So this is known as transferred epithet. The quality is transferred to another noun. Next, the night was sleepless for him. Now the quality of sleeplessness is taken from him and transferred to night. And night we know is abstract noun. Next figure of speech is anaphora. Anaphora is a figure of speech in which words repeat at the beginning of successive clause, phrases or sentences. For example, we shall not flag or fail. We shall go on to the end. We shall never surrender. So we can see we shall, the phrase we shall is going on repeating itself. So it is an example of anaphora. We can also say it is an example of repetition. You will still gain equal marks. Second example, with a malice towards none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right. So here again, the word with is being repeated again and again. So it is an example of anaphora. Usually in example of repetition, the word is repeated twice. But in anaphora, it should be repeated more than twice, thrice or maybe more than that. Also in standard tense poem, where the mind is without fear, we can see that entire poem is written in anaphora. Next figure of speech is oxymoron. An oxymoron is a figure of speech that puts together opposite elements. The words are seemingly opposite. For example, they roamed about in the free market. Now we can see market and free are put together. They are seemingly opposite. Free and market are put together and we can know that they are seemingly two opposite words, but they are put together. That's why we name it as oxymoron. People also name it as antithesis because they think this is two opposite words are used in the same line. But in antithesis, the words are not written together. In oxymoron, two opposite words are written together. Second example, America laid down a peace force. Again, force. Force, when we think about force, it's about army, wars, fights, and then it is placed with peace, a peace force. So again we can see two contradictory words are written together. In the third example, there was a small crowd assembled in the city. Crowd itself stands for lot of people, and then they are naming it as small crowd. So these again are two opposite words written together. So these are the examples of oxymoron. And the last we have paradox. A paradox is a figure of speech in which a statement appears to contradict itself. It creates impossible events. For example, you can save money by spending it. Now, saving money by spending it is not possible. It creates an impossible event. In the sentence itself, we are creating something that is opposite. Yes, we can call it an example of antithesis too, because we can say save and spending are two different words, opposite words written in the same line. We would still get equal marks if you mention it as antithesis. Second example, this is the beginning of the end. Again, the statement itself is contradictory. This is the beginning of the end. Beginning and end. Two contradictory statements. Next, I know one thing, that I know nothing. Again, I know one thing, that I know nothing. So this statement, while we say it, we realize that these statements create an impossible event. So these were the examples of figures of speech which are commonly used. There are more than that, but for school level, these are the only ones preferred. I hope you are familiar with figures of speech now. Please let me know about your views in the comment section. Thank you for watching.